Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock. Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop.
Welcome back, everybody. Week 6 in the books, and we're coming at this week with a little different energy. We have a new owner to welcome and a great owner to say goodbye to. Of course, I'm referring to our fallen GM and our best friend, the Ellman. We lost Elliot, and we lost a great GM. Elliot's been a heck of a GM, and we went over some of his history just to take a look at what he'd done in the league. And of course, he was a founding member way back in 2015. And he found himself a 2021 champion of the UPBL. He had some crazy, interesting stats. In fact, he's had Deebo Samuel the last 3 years, 23, 22, 21. But that is not his longest tenured player. That is Chubb. Chubb, drafted in 23, 22, 21, and 2020 by multiple scoregasms. Couple other stats for you. 5 top 5 finishes over his career, 2 of them in the top 3. And of course, one of them was the champion, and that was back in 21. Of course, the other top 3 finishes when in 2019 when he lost to me in the championship. He's been to the playoffs 6 times in his career, and he finishes with a positive over 500 record, 51-49. 170 points and 34 points is his highest score ever. 55 points is his lowest score ever. Whenever he played the Walkers and Jeffrey, he owned them to the tune of 6-2, and he was certainly owned by Uncle Jay and the Goon Squad to the tune of 1-5. But that one win did come in the 2022 playoffs. Quite the career. And we love him. And we'll keep him in our thoughts forever. And I thank you all for thinking about him and supporting him and during his time here in the league and all of that and beyond. Guys, it's been a crazy week. In fact, it was the lowest scoring week in NFL history. Like, it seems like it. Only 3 teams that scored over 26 points this week. If you take a look, the Dolphins with 42, the Jaguars with 37, and what? Take a closer look. Yeah, that's right. The Rams put up 26 on the dot. Not a high-scoring week, and as you can see, when we take a look at the highest-scoring players, guess how many of them are quarterbacks? 3. 20. Got 3 quarterbacks. Got Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and wait, right here. Hold on. In the 20s. There's only 2 quarterbacks in the 20s. Jared Goff, 3 quarterbacks. Goff, Tua, and Dak Prescott. A low-scoring week all around the league, and of course that's reflected here. High score of the week is going to go to Tommy. Just pulls it off by the skin of his teeth. Swag you beef with 126, 3 points more than Social Propaganda. Social Propaganda pulls off the win against multiple scoregasms. Of course, the new owner. Greetings to Lucas. Thank you so much for joining, Lucas. Lucas is going to have a couple of problems on his hands, though. as we are finding out that Trevor Lawrence is injured. Justin Fields might be injured for Bruce. Ryan Tannehill out. That's going to hurt the waiver wires. Christian McCaffrey might be missing some time. That's bad for Uncle Jay. Deebo Samuel, another one that's going to hurt for the new multiple scoregasms owner, Lucas. It's going to have to be wheeling and dealing to figure out that situation real quickly as he slides to 0-6 on the season. Social Propaganda turns out to win with the second highest score of the week and goes on to be 4-2, looking like he's locked up third place at the moment in the standings for next week. Then take a look at his high scores. Of course, I mentioned Tua Tagovailoa, CeeDee Lamb with a good week, AJ Brown, Breece Hall, and Kenneth Walker carrying the load. Jake Moody with a couple of misses that was crushing, but the bench had a couple of decent options between Brian Robinson and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Over on the multiple scoregasms side, they need a little bit of help, but they had it. Michael Wilson showed up this week, and so did Darren Waller, so it might be leaning on those guys come next week. Team Danky Push pulls off the nail biter with big old titties. Big old titties had Austin Eckler left to go and could not scrounge up the last 3 points to edge ahead of Team Danky Punch, at least this week. Jalen Hurts, Amon St. Rod, Jacoby Myers, of course, the high scores of the week. But Nick Folk and Joshua Dobbs, well, Nick Folk just doing enough, but Joshua Dobbs having 2 stinkers in a row. That trade value is drying up for Joshua Dobbs. But if you look at the waiver wire for quarterbacks, of course, it's not going to be too nice what you're looking at. Derek Carr out there, Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor putting on a show, doing a lot better than Daniel Jones. And Brian Hoyer having to go in relief of Jimmy Garoppolo. So there's a couple of people going to be needing quarterbacks this week. Over on the other side, back. We can take a look at Team Danky Punch's bench. Quite the producers. Salvin Ahmed, the backup Miami running back, taking the place of Devin Achane, and doing quite nicely. Ezekiel Elliott and Terry McLaurin, all with double-digit points. But Amari DiMercado, the waiver wire darling of the week, only putting up pass block numbers with 2.2 points. Over on the other side, big old titties playing Brock Purdy, QB 12 on the season, but damned if he didn't disappoint against the second best defense in the league, right behind the San Francisco 49ers in their first loss of the season. Brock Purdy, of course, put up 7.7. Eckler only 8. Derrick Henry having a great week with 18. Chris Godwin with 10. Matthew Stafford, his highest scoring QB with 13. But it was his defense with 14, and Harrison Butker kicking through 18 points. The bench not looking too good there. Pretty quiet there, but a couple guys on bye, including Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Jamaican Shamans. The Shamans taking on Swag You Beef. Joe Burrow putting up 13 points. Looks like he's starting to come back. He's starting to turn back on. Yeah, he's still not lights out, but he seems to be finally recovering from those early days of single-digit points. Stephon Diggs with 15. Cooper Kupp with his first touchdown of the season, 24 points. Desmond Ridder with an excellent little waiver wire run by the Shamans, but it's not going to be enough because Swag UB put up 126. They got more than enough out of Justin Herbert with 18. Zach Moss with 14, looking like the running back to own out in Indy, at least still currently. Keenan Allen with a cool 18. Adam Thielen looking like wide receiver. What? This guy's wide receiver. What? He might be wide receiver. What? After this week is concluded. That's insane for the octogenarian. Christian Kirk looking like a great little trade asset. Look at this trade for Swag You Beef. Look, paying up dividends. Zach Moss and Christian Kirk helping out to a big win. So Swag You Beef can crawl back into 3-3. Shamans are going to fall to 1-5. I forgot to mention Team Danky Punch and Big Old Titties record in the last one. And Team Danky Punch will be sliding up there to 4-2. I believe they'll be in 4th place. Big Old Titties with another loss, sliding back to 2-4. Big Old Titties got to right that ship. Meanwhile, the Swag U bench, Ramondre Sit My Ass Stevenson, showed up this week with 15 points, and Cortland Sutton did as well, looking like a starter. Jacksonville Jaguars were the defense to start, but it didn't matter for Swagyu Beef, taking down the Shamans with a little strange magic. Over on the other side, over in the next match, we got Union Pier Machines. They've been waffling lately, not sure that they could get the win, but bam, bang, bam, beam, bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here it is against Goon Squad. Goon Squad falls to 3-3. Union Pier Machines slide up to 3-3. We've got a lot of 3-3 teams in the league. It's going to be separated by points 4. Of course, Union Pier Machines put up a stack with 120. And that was all thanks to Sam Howell. Kyron Williams, who it did take a knock, might be injured, might be missing the next few weeks, but he's not the only one. Their other guy, Ronnie Rivers, the other running back, is also going to be missing time. Jalen Waddle finally showing up, looking like that draft pick that Union Pier Machines need him to be, that wide receiver too. Damian Pierce struggling, being a little bit of a question mark, but then there's Dak Prescott being one of the best QBs on the week. But man, oh man, Danny is a fan for Dak Prescott. 49ers defense, solid as ever. Evan McPherson. Tyler Boyd having a great week, but how could you have any confidence that this was his week, that he was going to outscore Jamar Chase? It was definitely the Tyler Boyd show. Josh Downs looking like a nice little waiver wire snap up, and Rashee Rice starting to pay a little dividends. The plan is starting to grow. Goon Squad on the other side, going to be missing Jimmy Garoppolo for the next few weeks. Going to have to figure out that situation. But even worse, Christian McCaffrey. The question marks grow. How long could he be missing with an oblique and rib injury? We do not know. CM will be missing CMC. Of course, he's been RB stud on the season. He's been amazing to watch. Goon Squad's going to have to figure out that real soon. But of course, he's got Travis Etienne, who's been fantastic and right up there as far as production. Look at that, RB3 on the season. Look at Uncle Jay. Goon Squad, RB1 and RB3 on the season. That's got to help. Garrett Wilson having a good week. Calvin Ridley, a little bit of a quiet one, but Zay Flowers showing up. Jerome Ford having to play OP duty because, of course, Jordan Love was on bye at all, as well as Christian Watson. So Goon Squad will be able to right that ship, but man, oh man, it's going to hurt losing Christian McCaffrey. He needs to figure out that running back help. Am I right? Well, he's got Jerome Ford that'll be able to pivot to. That'll be huge. Antonio Gibson also with a nice little 8 points there. Best physique. Oh, did I mention the records? Yes, 3-3, 3-3. Best physique of the week, gonna move out with a big win over the now defeated Power Walkers. They're gonna be both 5-1 coming out of this week. Zeke putting up 104 points. Walkers putting up 98. Their studs are Alvin Kamara, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill with 25 points. CJ Stroud looking like still doing really well over there for best physique of the week. His bench, Curtis Samuel, the standout with 12 points, double digits. Meanwhile, Power Walkers, Patrick Mahomes, his stud, and Raheem, number 1 running back on the number 1 offense in all of the NFL, Raheem Mostert, the Colonel Mustard. He's just a stud, and that'll help you win most of your games, but not if Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, and Puka Nacua all put up under 8 points. That cannot help. And then Gardner Minshew with sub 10, not the best streaming quarterback pickup for the week option for Power Walkers to choose from, but he went for it. Cowboys defense only able to stack 7 against the Chargers despite some crazy start at the beginning where they got into little fisticuffs and looked like Eckler got punched in the face. Meanwhile, his bench, Tyler Lockett, went off for Power Walkers, but Power Walkers get handed their first loss of the season by best physique of the week. Sharp Fingers almost pulled it off with a heck of a gamble. He wanted it. He brought it. He brought the Vikings defense against Justin Fields, and look, he won the battle, but he did not win the war. Kirk Cousins only 8 points. Jared Goff, though, a high score with 22 points, but it did not help that James Cook and David Montgomery put up just under 11 points combined. David Montgomery, of course, leaving the game early with injury. If you got a little bit more out of David Montgomery, he might have pulled it off, but it was not to be. Amari Cooper with a decent game, and the Vikings defense doing a great number against the Bears. And, of course, the bench, Jordan Mason and Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell to gain with the injury with CMC. So potentially a nice little problem to have there with the 49ers backups there. Of course, we know that Shanahan likes to run his guys, and those guys have done well in the past. And Elijah Mitchell, of course, being a 100-yard rusher in the system in the past. But Jordan Mason, if you look in the past 2 weeks, he's got rushing touchdowns these past 2 weeks, including a 69 rushing yard day. Looks like he might be the running back to own coming out of this injury with CMC. Over on the other side, getting the win and the bye just by the skin of his teeth. It's my name is Bruce. My name's Bruce with Lamar Jackson put up 17. He's going to have to figure out Justin Fields' injury situation here in the short term. Looks like Fields might miss a few weeks with a thumb dislocation. Of course, it might be a little bit more it's harder to solve than just getting his thumb right back in the right spot. Might have some ligament damage that he might be contending with. He did have issue squeezing out of the ball and coming back into the game. Of course, got ruled out really quickly there, which is usually a bad sign. Ravens with 14 points, good defense there. Olave with 13. Nico Collins with 10, good double digits. You like to see DeAndre Swift and Pacheco with over 12 points respectively. Like what you see there. And Chiefs D, another good defense to have. And Saquon Barkley sitting on the IR, didn't bring him up, but he does put down 11 points. But he was not his best RB. It was a good little move there by Bruce. It paid off. And this week he's going to have to make the decision, though, who to cut to bring Saquon Barkley back up. Guys, it's been a crazy week. I thank you guys all for all the kind words and reaching out. We got a big one coming up here, another big week. Stuff happening in between, and I wish you all the most love, and I can't wait to see you all, and I'll see you guys soon. Guys, good luck in week 7. I can't believe we're already in week 7. We have six games already awarded. We have a couple different high scores of the week. It looks like Tommy's going to get his second. That's huge. Big time. Couple big injuries that we're going to have to deal with. Who are you guys cutting? Jahan Dotson? Is he on there? Trevor Lawrence? I mean, I don't think so. Tyreek Hill? No way. Quentin Johnson? That's maybe. Drake London? I don't think so. Maybe Devontae Adams? No way. Hunter Henry? No. Zach Charbonnet? I don't know. Deonta Foreman? I don't know. Droshan? Just a couple ideas for Tony Pollard. Maybe these are some trade targets. Meanwhile, Adam Schefter clarifying, bringing up that Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Tannehill, McCaffrey, and Debo are going to be missing some time here. It looks like David Montgomery also injured. Jimmy Garoppolo. Dalton Kincaid was inactive. Let's take a look at a couple other. Damian Harris took a big injury. He is moving. Justin Fields diagnosed with dislocated thumb. Of course, I already mentioned that. Trevor Lawrence has a knee sprain, but it's not significant. David Montgomery going to miss a couple weeks. Of course, we're finding more about Justin Jefferson. He might miss 4 to 6 weeks, depending. Chargers Joey Bosa listed as questionable, but he made it through. CMC undergoing a couple more tests. Ryan Tannehill hurt. And of course, Anthony Richardson is probably going to miss the rest of the regular season. Incredibly bad news for the new Colts rookie quarterback and the Walkers, who are out there in first place. Of course, guys, good luck next week. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Kick that like button, punt it, and subscribe for more throwing ropes. Thank you guys all for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys comment below. I love to read your comments. Comment. Let us know who's your favorite player on your team. Let us know. All right, guys, let's freaking go. Week 7 UPBL Superflex. Here we go.